Hello, everyone. My name is Eileen McKusick, and I'm a sound therapist and sound researcher and the creator of the Sonic Slider tuning fork. The Sonic Slider was invented 5 years ago with the intention of helping people to look and feel better. And recently, we conducted a challenge where we invited people to take before and after pictures from using the Sonic Slider every single day for 7 minutes, twice a day for 4 weeks. And recently we got back all of the pictures, we chose our winners, and I interviewed them to find out how their experience was and did they do anything else? Because as you'll see in a minute, and I'll show you their before and after pictures, there's a fairly dramatic transformation with these ladies. Everybody who entered, we definitely saw a difference in one way or another. I was particularly struck by how everyone's eyes looked brighter from rubbing a vibrating tuning fork on their body 15 minutes a day. And everyone also reported feeling better. So let's just take a moment to take a look at some slides and see these pictures, and then we'll head into the interview. All right, so this is our 28-day challenge, the Sonic Slider, and Biofield Tuning is the sound therapy method that I created. So this is the Sonic Slider tuning fork. It's a weighted tuning fork. It's 93.96 hertz, or the 12th harmonic of the Earth's natural resonant electric frequency of around 7.83 hertz. So that when we multiply 7.83 times 12, we get 93.96 hertz. And this is a very pleasing frequency. It sort of universally makes people to feel better when they put it on themselves. So here are our winners, their before and after pictures. And this is our grand prize winner. And you can really see that she looks like a different person. Her skin tone is better and she looks tighter all around and she looks happier. And this is something that we really saw in everyone. Here's our other winner, who you can see just looks more springy. And this woman actually had a back injury and was really struggling to even get out of bed. And she found that using this gave her energy and helped her sleep better and just feel better all around. And this lady too also really looks like a different person. Very dramatic changes that we have seen in people. There's a sense even that comes off the pictures that you might feel that they just look more embodied and more vital. They look more like themselves, a healthier version of themselves. This woman was very dramatic response here, right? She was not a winner because she was doing it for 45 minutes a day. And we didn't want people to think that you could do it for 15 minutes a day and end up looking like this. But she really put a lot of effort in. She really focused on her gut. She really focused on her lymph and really had a very profound transformation. And this was just in 28 days. Now, no skin cream in the world is ever going to tighten you up like that. But a concentrated vibrating tuning fork done with some real intention and time can definitely make a difference. And we also saw pictures of her belly, which really looked very different as well. Obviously, I'm the one who discovered this, and these are just some pictures of me. The one on the left is a bad day of not standing up straight and clearly being bloated from whatever I ate, but a real picture. And I was not pregnant. I was 48 years old. The one in the middle is me just a couple months ago and at age 54. And that certainly would not have been possible without the Sonic Slider. I did start going to the gym a couple of years ago, but I had already trimmed and toned down before that by the Sonic Slider. And there's another picture before and after of me on the right-hand side of the screen. And you can also see that, that I look like a different person. This is what we really see with people. It's very exciting to have a tool for people that, that really truly helps them to look and feel better, and that doesn't require a lot of time. The key thing, though, about the slider is that you really have to use it every day in order to get these kinds of results. And we found that people who have been using it regularly and then stop for a while, they notice that they start to get puffy and lined and more tense as a consequence of not using it. So it's a very useful tool. It helps people with many different things. It's not just about vanity, but really about feeling better. When you feel better, you look better, and you just kind of have a better time with life. So let's go now into the interview with our 3 winners, and we can hear from them about what their experience was. And if you want to check out the Sonic Slider, we have links in the video description below. Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Eileen McKusick, and I'm the creator of the Sonic Slider tuning fork. And in the month of February, we invited people to join in our Sonic Slider challenge, where we invited them to use the Sonic Slider every day, twice a day for a minimum of 7 minutes, and take before and after pictures. And so today I have with me the 3 winners. We had 1 grand prize winner who won what we call a whole kit and caboodle, which is basically almost everything that we make. And then 2 other prizes of a $250 gift card to use at the Biofield Tuning store. And so a few weeks ago, we got to go through all of the pictures and we chose our winners. And this is based on the fact that they looked obviously more healthy, more vital, and that the quality of their pictures was good, because not everybody was good at like getting the same lighting and that sort of thing. So today we have with us Lee, Carolyn, and Dawn. Welcome, ladies.
Hi, everybody. Thank you.
Hello.
So let's see, Carolyn, you are the one who won the whole kit and caboodle, and we were just struck by the fact that you looked like a different person entirely. You just looked so much happier. And this is something that we noticed actually in every single participant, that people's eyes were brighter and that they just looked more in their body and happier. But we were really, really struck by just how dramatic your change was. So can you just tell us a little bit about your experience using the Sonic Slider and what those 4 weeks were like for you?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I have to say I was shocked that I was the grand prize winner. I was like, oh, okay, take my picture before and after. And I was being very mindful about lighting and all of that and making sure it was the same setup and angles and things like that. And Eileen, I almost didn't send it in because it was shocking to me too. And, but then I heard, from my voice of intuition, no, send it in. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll send it in. And just because I'm so grateful for you and the work, and I've been following you for quite a long time. I got the Sonic Slider and I'm like, well, I think I'm going to do this because, the pandemic took its toll. I'm a therapist, I'm a coach, and it's just been very stressful, and I could see it in my face, in my body, and all of that. And so I did it. I have to confess, it wasn't every single day, okay, that I was able to do 7 minutes, but I would do it. Definitely religiously on my face, sometimes other places, things. And so I was really struck by the difference between those 2 pictures. And so I was really thinking about this, like, what changed? Because I didn't do anything. I didn't go on a diet. I didn't change, and I didn't, sleep more, exercise more, do anything. The only thing that was different during that week or during that month was I got some new skin cream for my face, but like, we know that can't do magic, we all hope.
Unfortunately, we know that hundreds of dollars later, we know.
Right. And if somebody actually did create something, it would be flying off the shelves. So that was the biggest difference. But then I was thinking about this and how I was using this. And what I was doing is there's a technique called havening. I don't know if you're familiar with that, But what they discovered in doing havening technique, and you can do this on your own face with just your hands, is it's very soothing to your system, to your nervous system, because it's tracing the social engagement system of which basically your social engagement system is what orients you to people and the environment and helps you determine, is it safe, is it not? Okay. And so as I'm tracing that and going around my ears, that's what I did a lot of. The vagus nerve kind of soothed that and come down to here and imagine it all draining and all the inflammation and puffiness and stuff. But I was really tuning into the feeling of I'm loved, I'm safe, I belong. Doing that. And so what's really interesting about this is not only does it turn off the fight or flight system in your body, it's capable of decomposing memories, anything that's stuck, like in your work in the field, you're sensing all of the, pockets of stuck energy and things. But it literally is collapsing whatever's stored in your system, and it's gone. And so I think that was the big difference for me, and why you saw such a big change is because I was really metabolizing all of the stress and all of the stuff, all of the gunk that was literally just pulling my face down, like, sad.
Yeah.
So yeah, I called this is a like a pharmaceutical drug to change your mood and all of that. It only lasts in your body just a short time. This is an electroceutical, and it's capable of really making permanent change or dramatic change like that. So that's what I did.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wonderful. And, I would love to ask you if you might be willing, because this is our kind of next challenge, is we're asking people as citizen scientists to be willing to make little videos to share their own stuff that they figured out. And so what you just described about that and about using the fork in that way fits in perfectly with our ask from people. It's like, what did you figure out with the sonic slider? And why don't you share it, kind of step outside your comfort zone and make a video so that other people can learn about that. Now, I've never heard of that, but it makes perfect sense. And part of the reason why I first created the sonic slider to use on the face, because everything shows up in your face, right? You have a really bad day, a really exhausting day, you go home, you look in the mirror and you're like, oh my God, I look really old, because you just got that going on. And so just to counter the stress of the day, and not even so much for vanity, but to just kind of iron out all of that that I'd been in, right? So it's sort of with that same intention, but not necessarily following that pattern that you're talking about, which sounds like it's really useful. And also, I think too, the intention that you're bringing to it, right, is also really important, because sound amplifies intention. And so when you're intending something and you've got going on, that's really like amplifying that. So, the combination of that intention and that particular movement, I mean, really, really made a huge difference. So exciting to see that. All right, great. And then Lee, you also really looked like a different person in your pictures too. You looked kind of just you look more like yourself. I think that was kind of what I was looking at. She looks more like herself in these after pictures. So what was your experience? Did you do anything additional or extra?
Well, I started adding it in the sauna, and I think that made a big difference to me of like how it felt, warming up my tissue, and then I started warming up the sonic slider before I would use it, even if I wasn't using it in the sauna. But when I was in the sauna, I just felt like everything moved a lot more, the tissue under my skin just felt more fluid, like I was really moving stuff through. Like Carolyn said, like a lot of emotions came up while I was using it. And I think it was a nice time for self-care to like hold time, and the challenge kind of made me accountable for holding some self-care time. And then you had to take that time to slow down and think through those things, or just let them go. I looked like I lost weight. I didn't really lose a lot of weight. I mean, I might have lost 1 or 2 pounds, but I feel like I looked a lot different, which I was surprised too with the after picture. I didn't really expect that. And I was like, oh, wow. I was kind of excited to submit it because I was surprised at the change that I saw in myself. But it was so relaxing, and I can be kind of a busybody where I stay busy and I'm always doing something. So I don't take a lot of time to sit down and kind of have quiet time. So it helped me really have a little bit more of like meditation time, and just kind of calm my nervous system from probably being like, go, go, go. And that was a big deal. I would do it before I would go to bed also. And, I slept so much better. Like I felt like I took a sleeping pill after I had done a full body before I went to bed. I was just like out of it. I was really zonked and ready to go to sleep, and I slept really well. So I think some of it, I don't usually have trouble sleeping, but I just slept so much deeper and more soundly. I think maybe resting better too was something that showed up in my body and my face. And then I really enjoyed using it. So I kept it on my desk during the day. If I'd have a few moments, I would just kind of go over my face or on my temples, just kind of like to zero back in and get to like a baseline for the day. And then I wanted to focus on my face and my underarms. So I did that. And I found a lot of tenderness in spots that I was kind of surprised, and how it worked through that. I was really impressed with how, when I did have a spot that I found that was sore, like I actually had a little spot right here that almost stung when I put it on there. And it was kind of a knot under my skin. I hadn't really noticed. And so I used it there several times, and it like melted away. And that's completely gone now. And I don't know what it was, but it's gone. So it was I'm really glad I decided to do the challenge. I jumped in a little late, and I probably did miss a few days, but I think in between missing here and there, maybe once or twice, I made up for it in using it more throughout the challenge, just kind of having it handy and just using it. Like, even if I was just sitting and, watching a show or whatever, I just kind of played around with it a lot.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, if you keep it at hand, there's plenty of times when you can use it. Like I keep one in my bathroom at home. And when I'm working at home, whenever I go into the bathroom, I might take a few minutes to just do a little bit, because all those little bits really do add up. Sometimes when I've been watching TV with my husband in the evening, I'll pull it out and, just kind of sit there, because it doesn't make any sound really. So it's not like it's going to disrupt a TV show. People even will like do it as passengers in the car. So yeah, it's interesting what you said about doing it before bed and having it help you go to sleep, because some people have discovered the opposite. Some people find that it like charges them up too much before bed. And so they have to not do it. But, everybody's body is different, right? And everybody's body responds differently. So if you figure out that it keeps you up, then just do it earlier in the day. And if you figure out like that it helps you to sleep better. And certainly when we're more rested, that shows on us as well. Right. And many people are looking for things to help them to sleep better. So that's good to know that it had that effect on you. Awesome. All right, Dawn, we were also really struck by your pictures, because you just looked so much like when I first started using the sonic slider, the first 5 weeks that I used it on my body, I felt like springy afterwards. And I was so surprised to discover, like, at 50 years old that I could be so springy. And just looking at your body, you had that same kind of look, like you've gotten springier and just, more youthful and more embodied. So tell us about your experience.
Well, I had been struggling. I had back surgery a year ago, and I've been struggling to get back into animation, basically, not even shape, but just to start moving more and to feel better. And what I found with that was it lifted my spirits, it lifted everything. I did not lose any weight at all, but I did feel more, I guess, secure in my own skin, in a better attitude, and I felt almost a relief that it did help with my mental state as much as the toning and everything else I was looking to do. So it was very serendipitous of the results of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did it help with the pain in your back, or just kind of more in your ability to kind of manage what you had going on?
It did. It made it more, it gave me more endurance. I was able to work out more and for longer. So it did help with that too.
Yeah. Wonderful. Good. So, I think, we've had the sonic slider out in the world for 5 years now. And I've said over and over again, like, you really only get the benefits of this if you use it really consistently. And it's hard to start a new habit, right? So when we were talking about the prize that we were going to offer, I was like, we got to give them a big carrot so that they're going to, like, I'm going to do this. And so did that motivate you, like the big prize that we put out there, where you're like, I want to get that whole kit and caboodle?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wanted to look like you. I wanted the before and after. Like I saw those pictures. That's what was really motivating me. The kit and caboodle was a cherry on top. And so I said, like, if she can do that, man, I can do it too. And so I'm continuing to be motivated to do all the things. And now that I got all the fun little tuning forks, which I love. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So it was, it would be fun. But I knew that there would be hundreds of people entering this contest.
Yeah.
I more wanted to see what I could get out of it. And I've never entered anything like this before. I've never posted anything before. So that in itself helped my self-esteem.
Yeah. Kind of going outside the comfort zone and doing something. Yeah. I appreciate that. How about you, Lee?
Yeah, I think seeing your before and after pictures, and with youth gracefully sliding farther away, as we aged, I was like, wow, this is, I love sound therapy and tuning forks. And so it was one of those things, like, I had been following you for a while and thinking about and looking at different things. And so it was like, oh, okay, I'm going to jump on and grab one of these and get in this contest. The prize was definitely like, oh, that would be really awesome. But too, just seeing the effects that it had, and the sonic slider, I don't know how, I'm reading your book now, but I'm not sure how you came up with this frequency to make you look and feel better. But I have other tuning forks, and I hate to compare, but when I was using those, I thought, oh, these are great. And that's kind of all I knew was what I had. But that frequency is different. Now I pick up my other tuning forks and I'm like, I'm a little disappointed. I hate to say that. And they're great, but this just resonates differently. And I'm a massage therapist, so I work with my hands a lot. And I even found that just from holding it and it resonating in my hands, like I'll pop my fingers and knuckles just kind of regularly because they feel better when I kind of pop them back in place, I guess, from working. But my joints in my hands even felt tighter, like I wasn't having to do that as often. So that was another thing that I noticed. But yeah, the prizes were nice, but the end results I think were really great too. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and it's not just about vanity and looking better, right? It really is about feeling better. The fact that it makes you feel better makes you look better, right? That's just a reflection of the fact that your blood is circulating better, your lymph is circulating better, your electricity is flowing better. Everything's just flowing better. And that's health.
yeah.
As far as the frequency goes, I've made a lot of prototypes over the years. I'm always kind of playing around. In fact, my team was like, stop inventing things, Eileen. We need to catch up with all of your creations. But with the sonic slider, it was very intentionally created for this sort of anti-aging, rejuvenation sort of thing. And I created, I think, 5 different prototypes towards that end and got them all at once. And I knew the moment I activated this and put it on me, I was like, oh yeah, that's it. Now, this is the 12th harmonic of the Schumann resonance, right? So it's 7.83, that sort of background electromagnetic pulse of our electric environment, times 12. So it's the 12th harmonic. Now, I had the 11th and the 13th made because I kind of wanted to create a pair that you could use. And the 11th was horrible. It was like deadening. I remember doing a demonstration with it on Mio, who's one of my assistants. And it was afterwards, she was like, it was like knock you out, but not in a good way. And then the 13th was like totally neurotic. It had this really like jumpy kind of neurotic feel. And it was like kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, this one's too deadening and heavy, and this one's too crazy. And then this one is like, oh, like just right. And whenever I make a prototype, I would share it with a bunch of people before I set it out in the world, being like, okay, I love this one. How do you feel? And what we found was there's just something about it that's sort of universally appealing. And it has an interesting combination of like helping you to relax, but also kind of brightening you up at the same time, right? It's like a purr, putting a purr into you. And I think that makes it easier to use, quite frankly, because it feels so good. Yeah.
Even I really liked you like to heat it up, Lee, but I liked the coldness. It just felt so good on my skin. And yeah, I always felt the tightness of my muscles afterwards. It was great. And one of my favorite things to do was to just put it here, the top of my head. I could feel it all the way down, going through the whole core. It was really crazy. And it healed the knee thing, and my eyesight got better.
Wow.
I can't use the glasses that I had. Seriously,
amazing.
I can. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, other people have reported that as well. Not everybody, right? Everybody's different. Not everybody loses weight. Not everybody's skin changes. I mean, really, this is the thing that makes it sort of interesting, is that it's really a bell curve sort of effect. And we have people that have like no changes and people that have dramatic changes. And then most people sort of fall somewhere in the middle of that. So not everybody improves their eyesight, but some people do. And that's exciting when that happens. Yeah. Lee, did you notice any other kinds of changes, like in your digestion? I know your sleep got better.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I noticed my skin, like I felt like where I had like some cellulite under my tissue on my legs and stuff, I felt like that smoothed out. I wish I had an improvement in vision. I may have to work a little more on that if that helps. But really just, it just became this like go-to of, I wanted to have it close and with me, and like literally I'm taking it places in my purse. And so it was more just calming, just kind of like I I'm I just get too busy, and it's kind of a curse, I guess, in a way. Like, I got to slow down. I just have so much I want to do, and I can kind of get exhausted. So it was a nice way to just really, for me to just kind of come back to a baseline. But yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing. Just a very calming in my life for me. So.
Nice. Well, and I think a lot of people need that kind of stress relief, right? Moms, and, there's lots of people out there that just to have a tool handy, or you're just like, okay,
Yeah.
5-minute break, and now I go back to it. I've got some nurses that use these in emergency rooms, not on patients, but on the providers in the emergency room. She says they'll line up. She's got one with a circuit boot, and she works the knots in their shoulders, and they line up for their little vibrational treatment, because just, exactly what you said, it kind of resets you to a baseline, and then you're good to go again. How about you, Dawn? Any other kind of interesting observations while you were using it?
Yeah, I did look forward to my sonic slider time. I put it on the base of my skull to let it go down my back, and that seemed to help a lot. And yes, I did look forward to those times. And like I said before, it mentally boosted me. It did help my mental state a lot.
Nice. Excellent. All right. So just as the last thing, any advice that you want to give to people who are like, the whole commitment thing, it really is important. And honestly, I am so bad with sticking with things. The only reason why I have stuck with the sonic slider is because I created it. I'm like the spokesperson, and I've fallen off the wagon many times, but then I see it in my face. I feel it. I start to feel it. I notice when I'm not using it and the difference that it makes when I do. So I've always gotten back on the wagon. But it's not easy to get on that wagon, and it's not easy to stay on that wagon. So just kind of any advice that you want to give to people who might be thinking about starting to use this, Carolyn?
That famous saying, just do it, comes to mind. And if you make it part of your routine, because all of us have a little bit of a routine, like you said, you put it in your bathroom and you pick it up. And then there's this, at first it's a little hard, but then when you start to feel the results and everything, then it just becomes self-reinforcing to me. And it feels like, oh, like I didn't do it. So maybe you want to do the challenge for yourself, do it with some friends. And also too, I have a client who just got her sonic slider. She just put it in the middle of her kitchen, whatever you call that. And the kids are coming by and picking it up and doing it. And so it's just like, make it a family affair. I just keep doing it. Yeah. And just the results will be reinforcing.
Yeah, absolutely. Lee?
Well, I think it's a good tool to have to remind you to make time for yourself. So getting it and just devoting that time to some self-care is really important. And with everything around us that seems so chaotic and hectic, it kind of, like I said, brings me back to that calm point. So doing that for yourself, and then like having a tool to use, I think is it helps. I mean, it helps me to have something sitting there to pick up and use. And it's instant. I mean, it's not like something that you have to go and do. You can take it with you. You can do it anywhere. And it's an instant calming, an instant result, I think. So that's part of it, is just having something that is easy to use and accessible, and you get instant kind of gratification from it.
Yeah. Oh, we all love instant gratification, especially if it's making us feel better and doesn't really have any bad side effects. So yeah, nice. How about you, Dawn?
I would say just getting it and seeing the results is going to be amazing, just how you feel. And that in itself is encouraging to keep using it.
Yeah. Yeah. And Lord knows, you know, we all need, men and women alike, more just time for self-care, right? But that doesn't have to take too long. And that's what I like about it is that you don't have to take too long to do it. But if you do it every day, the benefits really pile up on you in a good way. So, all right, ladies. Well, thank you so much for entering the contest, for winning the contest, for being willing to come on here with me and tell everybody about your experience. And I'm sure you guys will probably all stay on the wagon with it. So if anybody's thinking about doing this, you can see, you know, that it's easy and it's worth it. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for coming. Thanks folks for watching, and
Thank you.
everybody keep sliding.